Hey everybody, Sean from Media Assault here, and I thought I'd do a quick review of a movie that I just watched that actually just came out on Blu-ray and DVD today, well, actually yesterday, on January 25th, and that movie is Red. And this stars Bruce Willis, Morgan Freeman, Mary Louise Parker, Carl Urban, John Malkovich, Richard Dreyfuss, Brian Cox, Helen Mirren, a lot of great people in this movie, and this is an action comedy based on a graphic novel by Warren Ellis and Cully Hamner. And I'm not real familiar, well, I'm not familiar at all with the graphic novel. I've never read it. I've actually never even seen it. So I can't comment on how faithful it is to the original source material. But as a film, it's hilarious. And I'm going to tell you right off the bat that I highly enjoyed this movie. I thought it looked pretty interesting from the trailers, but I never made it out to the theater to see it. So when it came out today, I picked it right up and popped it right in and watched it as soon as I got home from work, and I enjoyed it a lot. There's a lot of great stuff in this film, but let me first tell you about what the plot is, and I won't give anything away. But basically, it involves Frank Moses, who's played by Bruce Willis, and he's a retired black operative from the CIA who's living out his retirement in the suburbs of Cleveland, Ohio. And he basically goes through the same routine every day, gets up, works out, and tries to find a way to talk to his retirement caseworker, who's played by Mary Louise Parker. And she works in a call center in Kansas City. He'll actually tear up his pension checks so he can call in to say he didn't get the check just for the chance to talk to her. He's very smitten with her. So they're constantly talking on the phone. Well, one day, a hit team comes to Frank's house to kill him. He's prepared for this hit and immediately takes off for Kansas City because he knows that Sarah, Mary Louise Parker's character, is going to be in danger because of their frequent conversations. So he sort of kidnaps Sarah and basically tries to let her know that he's not going to hurt her, he's trying to protect her, and that he likes her, but he's not real good with the emotional side of relationships because he's been pretty much, taught not to care about anything because he's basically been a hired killer for most of his adult life. So basically, Sarah and Frank, sort of involuntary partners, try to track down Frank's old partners by the likes of Morgan Freeman and John Malkovich, and they try to figure out who's trying to kill Frank and why. And basically the rest of the plot is just the two of them plus all these other assorted characters that they come across, trying to A, come to terms with what's going on, and B, trying to solve the mystery, and getting themselves into some pretty crazy situations along the way. It's a lot of fun. It's not a serious film by any stretch of the imagination. It's really, it's as lighthearted and breezy a film about hired killers as you could possibly want. The soundtrack by Christoph Beck, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, is just really kind of a indication of the tone of the movie. It's just sort of lighthearted, and just, I don't know, it just has a real breezy atmosphere. I don't know why I keep using that adjective, but that's the word that comes to mind. It's just sort of a breezy movie. It was actually nominated for a Golden Globe for Best Comedy. It did not win, but it was nominated, so somebody else appreciated it as well. I actually thought this movie didn't do that well at the box office. I was actually surprised to see that it made as much money as it did. The budget on it was about $58 million from what I read, and the film actually ended up pulling in about $90 million in the U.S. alone. So I guess it did okay. Whether or not there'll be a sequel or not, I don't know. The likelihood of them assembling a cast as good as this one, or even getting all these same people to come back, is probably pretty slim. So if they do make a sequel, it probably won't be anywhere near as good as this, because the chemistry between these actors is just phenomenal. And I think a lot of the enjoyment that I got from this movie is based on the personalities, or at least the perceived personalities, that these actors each have. These are probably some of the most likable actors in the business. I mean, Bruce Willis has made some really crappy movies over the course of his career, but he's also made some, really enjoyable ones, and for the most part, most people like him. Morgan Freeman, I mean, he's played everything from God to narrating, March of the Penguins and Shawshank Redemption. I mean, he's made some bad movies too, but for the most part, most people think of him in a likable way. Brian Cox is pretty much in every movie ever made. He was in the Bourne Identity, I don't know if he was in Bourne Identity, I can't remember, but he was in the Bourne series. He's great. You've got Mary Louise Parker, who's well known for being in a lot of independent films, and of course Weeds, which I've really never watched, but I know it has a good reputation, of course, so she's likable. Helen Mirren, of course, is a top-notch actress, and I don't think anybody would be able to dislike her, even if she played the bitchiest woman in the world. She's the queen, you know what I'm saying? So everybody in this film is likable. You throw them all together, and you just got a film that just exudes likability, I guess. This movie was directed by Robert Schwenke. I wonder if I'm pronouncing that correctly, Robert Schwenke. He actually did Time Traveler's Wife, Flight Plan, 2 movies that I have not seen, but he also directed the pilot for a TV series called Lie to Me, which is immensely enjoyable. So I've liked what I've seen of his in the past, even though it's only been the TV pilot. So I highly recommend you check that TV series out as well. Lie to Me is really cool. That stars Tim Roth. But if what he's done with that TV series and what he's done with this film, I'm probably going to check out those other 2 movies, even though I haven't seen them yet, just based on the fact that I really enjoyed this, even though obviously the subject material is quite a bit different. So that's pretty much it for Red. One thing I did want to point out, I just grabbed this off the shelf today, and I really didn't put a whole lot of thought into the purchase. I just wanted to see the movie. And apparently I got the single disc version of the Blu-ray, which says down in the corner here, movie only. And boy, they're not kidding. That's it, the movie. There's no special features on this whatsoever. There is a 2-disc special edition of this, which I think also includes a DVD. For just a little bit more, I would probably pick that up if I had the choice. But they didn't carry that at the store that I picked this up at, so I didn't have that choice. But if I had to do it over again, I would get the special edition for the features. But Red, excellent movie. If I was going to rate it, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. Don't take it seriously, first and foremost. If you go into this movie trying to take it seriously, you're probably going to hate it, because there's a lot of unbelievable stuff that happens in this film. Just go with it, pop some popcorn, sit down, let it just kind of wash over you, and just enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. So check it out. And I want to thank everybody who's subscribed since my last video. We're getting closer and closer to 200 subscribers. So hopefully, if you haven't yet, you'll subscribe. And like I said, when I hit 200 subscribers, we'll be doing a giveaway. So thanks again, everybody, for watching. And thanks again for checking out the channel. And I'll talk to you guys soon.